Let's see if we can get that. Here we go. Guys, can you hear me okay? I'm not exactly sure that the internet speed is going to be fast enough for this. I'm getting a bad encoding rate on the streamer, which is strange because I'm sat right outside the Wi-Fi. But hopefully somebody can tell me in the chat thing that we're live and online and everything's working out right. You guys hearing me okay? Yep. The blast furnace. All right, I think it's working. Alaska just took off down the street at literally 1,000,000 miles an hour chasing something. I don't know what it is, but I should probably be concerned about that. But hey, never mind. That's live. That's live streaming, isn't it? Alaska. It's always nice to have somebody with me. Unfortunately, Leah can't be here. There will be a update from her. I've got a little video to play for you on this stream in a little bit, so she can give you a message herself. Be nice to see her lovely face, won't it? Dog, please come back. I don't want to go and chase you. Oh, hello. Hello, Alaska. You want to come in the Kombi? What do you mean it doesn't look like a house? Oh, just come in anyway. Arriba. Arriba. Jump over the tools. Come on. If you could see what just happened. Come here, mate. Hola, chica. You're looking the wrong way. Here she is. My favourite little pup. Alaska is absolutely loving home life in Jersey. I've got to be honest with you guys. I am kind of feeling a little bit kind of guilty about taking her on this journey because I know how happy she is in Jersey. And I don't want to make the decision about having her with me from a selfish point of view because she, you know, she fills my world with light. She's literally, yeah, I'm talking about you. Yes. She's just literally the best thing. Honestly, she brings me up when I'm down and she's just so fun to have around. And I really, really want to keep her with me. But if she's not going to be happy, if she's happier here, is it the right decision? It's a tough one, right? I think that I am going to try to bring her on all of the parts that are easy, but as soon as the journey gets tough for her, you know, if we're in a place where it's just really unfriendly for dogs, I might send her back to Jersey for a while and so she can come back here. Like, I'd rather she was happy than I was happy, if you know what I mean. I think it would be selfish for me to keep her in van life in a really, really hot place where she's just not liking it. She's getting a little old now, you know. She's, how old are you? She's like 40 something in human years, maybe 50? No way. She's 6 now, so yeah, she's getting on a bit. So you guys sent me some questions. I see you there in the chat. I really appreciate you. Go on, be free. I know you'd rather be somewhere else. I really appreciate you guys being here. Please, if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them today. I've also got a bunch of questions from some of you guys, which I can see are already in the chat, so I might go through some of those. Feel free to ask any more. Roughly speaking, we're going to be talking about the Kombi, yeah, the Kombi, and then after that we'll be talking a little bit about route planning, where we're going to be going on this huge adventure, and in between all of those I'll be sipping this beer for courage, because usually Leah's here and she's my courage, but not this time. So yeah, I'll try to answer some questions as well, but because it's just me, I might not be able to see all of your comments as you put them. So feel free to keep saying the same thing if it's something you really want me to see. Hi to San Diego. I really miss San Diego. I wonder if that's John. I know John's in San Diego. Alaska's going to be happy wherever we are. You know what? I actually think that that's true as well, because we are her tribe. Like Tom Summers, our friend with the Splitty bus, with the Adventure Experts video about life 2.0 in van life. He always tells me that like Leah and I are Alaska's tribe, and she's happiest wherever we are. So guys, hang on. There's something blowing away down the street and I have to get it because I don't want to litter. I know it's bad form. Sorry about that, but I'm not littering. I feel too bad. Littering is bad. Yeah, anyway, okay, so I have some questions from you guys, and I will be answering them. Harris is here. Hey Harris, how you doing? Harris is the guy that gave us the seats the front seats in the Kombi, and he's also a legend as well. Harris, if you can hear me, I hope you can. I just found that beer that we had together in Georgia. You know, the one that's aged in the bourbon barrels. So good. I found a source for it in Jersey, so I have one every Saturday night now, thanks to you. You got me hooked on that stuff. All right, let's have a look at these questions. Let's get that sinking update. Hi from a truck stop in Italy. Marie-Anne. You guys made it. Thanks for popping in. You're on the road. So I've got your question here as well from the Patreon feed. Orion and Marie-Anne. And is it Cairo, your dog? Hopefully not your child. Please tell me it's your dog. And if it is your child, I'm sure your child is lovely. Please send me a message and let me know how van life is in Italy. I can't wait to get out to Europe and experience van life. I'm a little bit nervous about it, to be honest, about what's coming up with this whole journey. We'll discuss the route plan in a minute. I'll try not to rabbit on for too long because I know you guys are all busy and stuff. But yeah, let's get into some of these questions. Alex, I know I see you there in the chat. Your question's up first. What's going on with the Kombi interior? Why does the wiring look like a rat's nest? Yeah, there is cables everywhere, sticking out everywhere. And there's another question actually, Stefan, who says, what the F is taking you so long? He's actually sent that message in from Mongolia. He is currently going to be crossing into China in a couple of weeks. Thanks, mate, for making me feel so jealous. What the... Yeah, what is taking so long? And why does this rat's nest wiring look like a rat's nest? This kind of reminds me of when I was building Capito in Chile, okay? So I was there living with the family, and the father used to come home on the weekends, and you look at the progress of the Kombi, and like after 3 weeks, it's still, I'd be building this thing for 3 weeks and there's still no real progress. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's taking you so long? Why are you messing about with all these cables when you should just be putting furniture in this thing? Obviously, I didn't really speak much Spanish then, so I didn't really get every single word, but that was the gist of what he was saying. And the point is that this is the most difficult stage of the build. The bit where you've done loads and loads of work, but you see absolutely zero progress. Like, the metal is prepped, the painting is done, most of it's done. You know, the wires are all routed in, and you've figured out where they're going to pop out for later on when you hook everything up. So much work, like literally days and days and days and weeks of work, and there's nothing to show for it. Like, it's just some crappy Kombi, and it's heartbreaking. It's I've got to be honest with you, I'm trying to be upbeat because, like, you know, we're hanging out and stuff, but inside I'm a little bit crushed. Like, it's a difficult time right now, and this is the hardest time because you put so much work in and there's no real progress to be shown for it. But it's you have to do that in order to build stuff on top of it. It's like a, you know, it's like a layers. You have to make sure the foundation is good before you build up and put the furniture in, because after that you can't get to where the wires have got to go, and you can't fix that rusty exposed metal, which is going to cause a problem in 2 years' time. So I am putting a lot of effort into making sure the base vehicle is suitable for this journey, and I'm also, sorry, I'm a little distracted because my neighbours are walking past and they're probably thinking I'm a freak again speaking to myself in the bus. But yeah, I'm putting a lot of effort into it, basically doing all of this stuff. Kudos for not littering. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, the bus will progress really quickly now. Some of you guys will know from the previous 360 video that I did. I hope you have seen that, because that was fun hanging out with you in 360. I think you'll agree it was quite fun. I had to wait for 3 weeks to have the fabrication done for the kind of support to keep this high top from basically twisting out of shape as we drive. So yeah, that was a 3 week delay. That is I finally got that stuff back from the fabricator. Somebody has asked whether I'm happy about that, and like I said to my family, like, I'm happy with the way it turned out. It's definitely way stronger, it's super light, and it's made really well. I can't tell you exactly how happy I am because I still don't know how much it costs, and I think that it's gonna be, you know, maybe close to $1,000, which hurts a lot because that's not the only fabrication that we need to have done. So that's what's up with the rat's nest of a wiring and everything like that. Let's check in all the comments. You guys like work full time on the bus, or do you have another occupation in Jersey besides Kombi life? Sebastian. No, I am working full time on Kombi life and the Kombi, so I'm doing the build and the edit. So my day looks like wake up 8 o'clock, do some online stuff, speak to Leah, do some online worky stuff and video production, come out here in the afternoon, work until about 8 p.m, have some food, and then go and work until about 11 p.m, and then talk to Leah again until about midnight because of the time zones in Australia. So I'm doing full-time days. That's also why it's quite disheartening to see such a lack of progress. And a couple of other reasons why it's been very difficult and very slow is because we're on an island. The local hardware store literally doesn't even have standard bolts. Like, it's ridiculous how few things they have. So I have to go quite far. I'm not currently allowed to drive this Kombi in Jersey. I am driving it. I'm driving it when I need to get it to like the fabricator. Secret, okay? Shh. I'm not allowed to be doing that, which sucks. But so basically I can't really get around to the hardware store, so I'm ordering stuff on the internet, taking forever to get here. It's kind of a shitty place to be doing this build on an island, it really is. But I don't really have another choice because I can't spend too long in other places because of visas and things. So there is that. How will you communicate with the locals since you can't learn just one language and use it for all countries? Oh, that's such a good question. That's such a good question. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, honestly. I've been trying to think about my previous travels and how kind of frustrated I got with the lack of communication with the locals, and how much more I enjoyed my travel when I was going through the Pan American, because I actually got better at Spanish, and to the point that I could have a fluent conversation with people on most subjects. And yeah, that's going to be really tough again, and I think we'll have to see what's going to happen. But that is a massive reason why I think that everybody should try to do an extended trip on the Pan American Highway, because you can, there are very few places where you can travel such a long distance and speak one language along the way. And even if you don't speak it in the beginning, like I didn't, you can learn quite a bit, and you get a lot of enjoyment out of engaging with the locals, even if that's just a conversation over how much do I pay for those apples or something. Yeah, it's going to be tough, and I think we're going to struggle with that. Where can we get that t-shirt? You can have this one if you want. It's a little bit old now. It's still good for a couple more days, I reckon. Send me your. I think we have them online. You can buy one if you want. I'm not going to pitch merch to you guys because you guys already do enough for us. Yeah, it is difficult to get parts here. I think German will be pretty handy for most of Europe. Yeah, it would be. I don't know. There's not going to be another place where one language is going to help. I've got to say though, speaking Spanish now has definitely opened up other doorways with kind of Portuguese, French, even Italian. I understand at least the written language and some of the stuff that people are saying just because I know some Spanish. So I've travelled for a long time before that as well, and hand gestures get you a long way. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm anticipating that that's going to be an area of frustration for me that I'm going to have to deal with, and I'm interested to see on a personal note whether I have grown enough personally to see whether there's whether I can handle that communication barrier more than I could previously, because I know that it caused me issues with frustration and kind of travel burnout before. It was difficult. Communication is really important, and not being able to do so is okay when you're on a little vacation. When you're traveling for 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, it gets really flippin' draining when you can't talk. John in San Diego said, what does the timeline look like? Do they need to be too specific? How did your aluminium structure components work out? I already spoke about that. And are you happy with the design? Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the design. I definitely think it's stronger. I think it's the most important thing is is it going to be strong enough for the Australian inspectors? And I'm pretty sure they're going to be happy that we've taken these steps. These things here are also aluminium. They're going to be covering up the side pieces. So there's lots of stuff to show them. I'm pretty happy with that. What does the timeline look like? I have to be out of Jersey by November 13th. Otherwise, I think I just have to be out for a while. So I'm going to Australia to meet with Leah to finish the edits from whatever it is that we hopefully finish the build by that point. Finish all the edits so that the whole season, the build season, can come out on YouTube publicly at the end of the year, start playing at the end of the year. And then I'd like to take Leah for an adventure in Southeast Asia, possibly one of the countries or places that we can't get to with the van. Both her and I are in desperate need of like some kind of vacation. It'll be a working holiday, but I think it'd be really fun to just go somewhere with minimal camera gear and just try to have a low-key budget adventure and take you guys with us on that journey. So I'm excited for going somewhere like, you know, Bali or the Philippines or something like that. Somewhere in Southeast Asia that's going to be difficult to get to otherwise. Orion and Marianne, who are in the chat from... Oh, Holly says hi. Hi. Who are in the chat from Italy in their van, said, why did we get Boomerang in the USA? Why don't we just buy a van in Europe? Man, that's such a good idea. Honestly, I've been wondering about that. There's a couple of reasons. One, the rust factor was a big thing for us. I can't, with the resources that I have and the skills I have, I can't really take care of major structural rust work. It just requires welding and a shop, and it's just not feasible to do that anywhere in the UK. Certainly not at home. Everything's expensive to pay for here, and I don't know anybody that would allow me to just park out back and just do some work for a bit, like Bill did in the episode. I should say this, guys, there is a new episode out directly after this video, the new Quartzite episode. It's a good one, so I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be out on the hour, so in 40 minutes from now. Yes, so that's the main reason, because the rust was good. The vans were a bit cheaper in the US. Also, we wanted to drive around the world, and because we were already kind of based in America, we wanted to do our journey across America first. We may come back to America at the end of the trip and do a proper tour, because as some of you know, that we didn't really get to spend too much time going through the States. Certainly not enough time, because we were spending all of our time building the bus, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, that's why we got it in America. Daniel has a very important question about peanut butter, whether I like crunchy or creamy. Honestly, most of the time I don't really care either one, as long as I can get hold of some. It's quite pricey in some of the locations I've been to, so I'm not going to be, what's the saying, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, I'll take either, thank you very much, preferably with some jam, not jelly. Harry says he's got a concern about four-wheel drive. Basically, he's concerned about his own travels with getting stuck when he doesn't have four-wheel drive, and like how he's going to get himself out of there. And Darjo actually replied to him and said, the difference between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is that with four-wheel drive you get stuck in even more remote areas. It's true, you get stuck with both of them. He's also asking whether we can, I think you're in the chat there, right? I saw you there somewhere. Anyway, he's also asking if he should get a winch. Are we going to have a winch? We have got a winch. We got a winch from Go Westy. Flipping heck, is it heavy. Really stoked to get a winch. The guys Rancho, who are part sponsoring this series, that helped us out with the transmission, they have advised us the biggest thing you can do is improve your traction. So we've got like a kind of semi off-road type transmission with limited slip differential, but they've advised us to get a winch. I've got the winch. Now how the hell do I put it on the bus, because there's nowhere to mount it, and you've got to reinforce the heck out of it, because it's got to be bolted in like 50 million places so it doesn't twist the whole car when you're pulling yourself out of a ditch. And did I mention it's heavy? It's flipping heavy. It's heavier than me. Yes, we have a winch. Can you tell that I'm not thrilled about having a winch? Put this beer over here because it's right by the microphone. I would like to put the winch on. I would like to do some videos about how I'm learning how to use a winch, because to be perfectly honest with you guys, it scares the crap out of me. I've never used one and I don't really know how to. I do think that it would be handy, but I think that it would be handy in a minimal amount of times, like hardly ever. I'm probably going to be pulling other people out of ditches more often than I'm pulling myself out of a ditch. The best thing you can do is have some max tracks and just try not to get stuck. You know, like, it's quite easy to recover yourself with just some like good max tracks underneath the wheels and deflating the tires if you're in some loose stuff. And as soon as you get stuck, come back out of it. That's what I think. Orion's a welder. You guys come in here after Italy. That would be nice. Have a great vacation with Leah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Does Leah surf? She did surf in Mexico. She doesn't surf a lot. She surfs when it's absolutely primo perfect conditions, like it was in Scorpion Bay in Baja California. Anybody that wants to kind of learn to surf and wants to stand on a surfboard for 30 seconds plus, just going in one direction on a really, really easy wave. Scorpion Bay, San Juanico it's called, but Scorpion Bay is what you need to Google. Baja California, one of the best places you can ever go. I wouldn't tell anybody publicly that because I don't like to shout out surf spots, but if you guys can ever get to Baja California, it's good for anybody to learn, kids to like old people, even older than me. A 2-inch receiver on hitch on the front and rear, and we're talking about, like, you're talking about the mounting the winch. Yeah, I'm thinking about putting the winch on the back of the bus, and in the hitch receiver. I think I talked to you about this, Harris, when I saw you in Georgia. And then have it on the front of the bus as well, so that I can kind of carry it on the back of the bus, because the Kombi, it likes to have the weight over the back. It doesn't like the weight over the front. So if I need it, I can kind of unbolt it and put it on the front. But I do want to have the winch on there. It's another engineering thing that I don't want to have to deal with right now. Like, the first thing, house. Second thing, overlanding the vehicle. That's the order of priorities right now with the build. I'm just going to try to keep going through these questions because I realise I'm talking a lot. Leah would be nudging me about now. Speaking of, oh wait, hang on, Darjo. I hope I'm saying your name right, mate. Darjo, Dajo, if you were Spanish, but you're not, I don't think. He's asking about. Can you talk a bit about plywood? He's building a Defender interior right now. That's exciting. I hope you're having fun. I'm a little bit stressed out by this build. Like, I'm trying to remind myself every single day to have fun and enjoy the moment, because you can't relive yesterday. You can't fast forward till tomorrow. If you keep doing that, you're going to realise that 5 years passed and you didn't enjoy the moments. The build only ever looks like this right now for a short period of time, or quite a long period of time if you're me. But just enjoy it. I'm sure you are, but just remind yourself to enjoy it. Anyway, his question is about plywood and whether he should, hang on, let me read it properly. Building Defender interior, and I'm wondering what thickness of plywood should be enough for cupboards and sleeping area, blah, blah, blah. Is 400 litres of space enough for storing all your gear for 2 people, excluding a sleep? I think 400 litres is quite a lot, yeah. You're going to make it work no matter what you have. Like in Capito, okay, pinning that. In Capito, I had hardly any space at all. What I wanted to say to you guys is we've got a really fun video for you coming at hopefully the end of the month. It's a tour of Capito that we filmed for you ages ago when we were at that off-grid ranch in Mexico. It's really fun. We're not going to release it publicly. We're just going to release it for you guys. It's like 25 minutes long. It's awesome. You'll get to see exactly what was in all the cupboards, where we hid stuff, like why we had things like this, how the whole Kombi worked. I know it's like older content, but bear with me. Like, we'll get to this stuff in a minute. But on that Kombi, I used 9mm thick wood. It's about the thinnest you want to go. You don't want to go thinner than 9mm for the walls of your cupboards and your doors. Okay. Other people will go 15mm or like 12mm for thicker stuff. In this Kombi, I am going to be using some 12mm stuff for the main cupboards over the top that I want to be secure, and they're also going to be part structural. But for any of the stuff down here, which is basically going to be there's something I've got to get in a minute. But any of the cupboards down here is going to be 9mm, and I'm going to use 3mm for like under cupboards, like the bottom of cupboards. I'm like keeping the weight down, you know, like keeping the weight to the absolute minimum. So like super thin 3mm plywood for the bottom of cupboards and shelving, 9mm for the walls, 12mm when you want to make it thick. There is something that I wanted to tell you, Darjo. There's a company that makes, you need to Google Vohringer. It's a German type of plywood. It's VOHRINGER plywood. It's specifically made for camper vans. It's what all of the major camper van companies make their interiors out of. I wish that we had it in Jersey. It costs £1 bazillion to get it delivered here. It's about $100 a sheet of plywood, but it's about 1/3 of the weight, and no, it's about 2/3 of the weight of a regular ply. It's really strong, and it's veneered with all different types of beautiful finishes. So it looks really nice. It's really light. I actually calculated the cost, the weight of all the wood we'll need, and the cost saving between driving from the UK to Australia, how many miles we're expecting, and how much we would save in petrol just on that journey in those like 2-3 years. And we would have saved about £1,500, which offsets just in the cost of petrol. So that offsets anything we would spend on buying that wood. So if you can reduce the weight, you should definitely do it. You're gonna you'll get that money back in the long run. Don't look at all those van life feeds where they put like super thick hardwood on the walls because it looks nice. I mean, man, I'd love to live in something that looked that pretty, but Jesus, I wouldn't want to drive it. Right. Okay, so that's that question. Do you want to see that video from Leah? Okay, I'm gonna play that video from Leah. Okay, and I'm gonna come right back in a second. Can somebody please, Dario? Dario, Darjo. I'm sorry, Darjo. Dario. I'm glad I saw that message. Dario. Are you Italian, Dario? Are you stressed out about his build? Are you stressed out about your build? Don't be stressed out about your build. You've got to enjoy it, mate. And the same with everybody. Like, whatever it is you're going through in life right now, seriously, you just got to enjoy the moment. Don't think about what am I going to do when I get retired. Don't think about your long-term plans. Sure, have plans, have dreams, but for the love of God, enjoy today, because you don't know that tomorrow is coming, and today is really all you've got. And if you keep thinking in the future, you're just gonna look back and all that time's gonna pass by, and you just got to appreciate the moment. Okay, guys, can you please bear with me 1 second? I'll be right back. Okay. Can you hear me okay? I'm back. All right, good. Happy days. Alex says he's enjoying the hell out of his Kombi build. That's good. I'm pleased to hear that, Alex. It's important that you do that. I just wanted to, before we get into the Leah video, there's a deleted scene in the episode that's coming out in half an hour's time where it's not in the episode, and we haven't made it available as a deleted scene. So I just want to talk about it with you guys. This is the license plate from Capite. We kept the license plate as a bit of a souvenir, and we actually changed Boomerang's license plate to this number so that we can change this license plate at some point in the future when we're traveling through some dodgy places and it's not advisable to have an American license plate. The reason we deleted the scene from the video was because the legality of it is kind of questionable. You know, like running a Chilean plate, even though it's the same number, if we got pulled over, we could show the paperwork and maybe blag that Chile is a town in Arizona. But I still want to rock those license plates. Leah says that we're not allowed to talk about it on the video. We just have to change the plates at some point. Yeah, I'm sure that we're gonna get away with that without somebody going, what, haven't you got Capito's license plate there? So I don't really know what's going to happen with that. Okay, so moving on. Okay, Harris can hear me fine. That's good. Thank you for saying that, mate, because I don't always know. There's a lot of technical stuff going on with live streaming. Like, it scares the crap out of me. That's the beer. Like, you know, you got to press buttons and make sure the microphone's working to stream. Whatever. My issues, not yours. Tobias, who is sent a message in from China. I'm guessing with the time zone, he's not online right now. So, oh wait, wait. Tobias, we'll get to your message in a second. But the thing from Leah. Okay, I'm going to play a video from Leah. I'm going to try to play it into the stream so that it's better quality rather than me hold it up on my phone. But if it doesn't work, if you can't hear what Leah's saying, can someone just please message me in the thing and then I'll play it on the phone, and that'll be plan B, okay? So, okay, here's the message from Leah.
Hi, Kombi crew. I am very, very sorry that I can't join you in the live chat today. I really wish I was there with Ben in Alaska and the Kombi and chatting to you guys, but I am enjoying being in Australia and being with my family, especially seeing my new niece and hanging out with her and helping them with the baby. It's been awesome. I really like being an auntie so far. So I'm very, very glad I came back for that and am here with them at the moment. But I do wish, obviously I was with the Kombi. Ben's working really hard and I wish I was there with him, and hopefully it will all be done soon and we can start our new adventure together. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about the new journey. Apart from that, I've been working on a new video which should be out now or out soon. If you haven't seen that already, go check that out. I really hope you enjoy that video. There's so much more to come, a lot of work to do, a lot of editing, but I'm enjoying myself right now doing all that work. But apart from that, yeah, I just miss you guys. I miss Ben and being in Jersey, and hopefully I will be reunited soon. But apart from that, yeah, I hope you're all well. Love you all. Bye.
I can't actually hear Leah speaking there, so I'm hoping that you guys can. If you can't, I'll play it back, and that would have just been a really awkward waste of time for us all. But I think that worked. So yeah, Leah's been doing a bunch of editing. She's been a little superstar. I've been talking to her quite a bit. It's been really difficult, kind of relationship-wise and work-wise, trying to get stuff done productively. Often I've got my, like, sharing my window, editing something and being like, you mean like this? Like, yeah, I'm sure that really is a productive way to work, but it's all we've got right now. So yeah, Leah's been working hard on this next episode. It's going to be out in 25 minutes to you. I hope you enjoy it. It's the last story from Quartzsite. Couple of bonus videos coming next week, just to let you guys know in the live chat. There's a Quartzsite documentary, which we featured in. So that will be shared. Unfortunately, it's in German. So good for the German speakers. I have no idea what I'm saying in this documentary, but it's actually really funny to hear Leah and I with German accents. And you still get to see a lot of scenes that were not filmed. So that's something to see. And I've lost all the questions now, so that's not good. Dum, 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 dum. Here we go. So Tobias was asking about the plan for the Kombi, like what do we do with, I'm sorry about my drawing, I know it's crap, I understand that. I don't know how well you can see that, but I've been sketching a little bit about the van, and I'll talk a little bit about the proposed layout. It's very difficult to explain that on camera because I can't really move this camera, it's my computer and there's a microphone and blah blah blah. But basically most of the weight has to be on the opposite side from the sliding door. We're going to have the kitchen kind of here. We've got a heater, which is going to be petrol powered, gasoline powered heater. I'm not thrilled about having a gasoline powered heater, and I'm not thrilled that it cost me over $1,000 for this tiny little thing, which was really unreliable, and you can't use it above like 5,000 feet, which was when you need it. So I'm really unenthusiastic about that, but believe it or not, it's the best option. So that's going down here. We are going to have a very, very small 3/4 bed that both of us are going to have to sleep on here, and we'll have a desk that kind of swings out over here so that we can work. We're doing lots of work. There'll be 2 big ass lithium ion batteries under our butts here, 2 more in the back. Thank you, Battleborn Batteries. Still so super stoked that you guys are on our team, because that is going to be a game changer for our production. And yeah, it's all pretty, like in the back here, we're going to have a cupboard, which is all of our clothes are basically going to fit from about here to the wall and back. So like Leah, you can't really see that diagram when I hold it up too well, can you? So you can, yeah, Leah and I's clothes are going to be here. Leah wants a hot water shower in the back cupboard too. The downside of that is it will take up half of our clothes space, so that's obviously a bit of a problem. The plus side is that we'll have hot water on demand that will be propane powered, because there'll be a propane tank under the bus. I kind of agreed with her, that's a funny way of putting it, isn't it, Leah? That we were not going to have a shower in the back there, and instead we were going to have our old solar powered roof shower, our road shower, and I was going to hook it up to the exhaust so that when we drive we can generate some heat through the exhaust. The hot water will actually go through the exhaust pipe and then back up to the shower on the roof. Now if I manage to pull that off, I'll be patting myself on the back, but I don't know if I can do that, and it's definitely something I want to do, and a hot water shower is something that Leah deserves, and I personally don't think it's fair for me to ask her to do a big journey like this without having some source of hot water for her to be able to have a shower when she wants to. So I'm going to work on that shower solution. Like, we could always put that shower in the back in the clothes cupboard and deal with that, but until I've got everything built, I'm not exactly sure how much storage space we're going to have for things. There'll be like a huge overhead cupboard up that side, a huge overhead cupboard over there, and I wish I could spin this around because I've insulated it all now, and it's with this insulation, this stuff, it's over head over there. So that's going to be our kind of security area where we have our camera gear and everything. Shh, don't tell anybody. So that's going to be a more secure cupboard, and then we're going to have little hidden secret storage places around the bus too. It's very difficult for me to explain the design, so bear with me, and I'll try to share it in more detail as it progresses very quickly in the following 6 weeks. So stay tuned for big updates on the bus build. We're getting onto the route in a second, guys, so stay tuned. Jonathan asked whether we were going to run stock suspension or shocks, or if we're going to beef them up for the rough roads ahead. Yeah, we have stock, exactly brand new stock suspension that was put on the bus when they were first made, and it's all right. It's good for roads. It's not good enough for the roads that we're going to tackle, and if we try to drive to India with these shocks, we will experience problems. I guarantee it, especially as we're going to be running a little heavy. So I'm hoping that we can get some off-road shocks. There isn't one that is exactly made for this type of bus, so I'll have to try to adapt something. Maybe a Fox shock. They're about $1,000, I think, for the shocks. I'm not stoked on that. Money's running pretty thin at this point in the build. I've been spending way too much, so I've got to do something, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but yeah, that's the answer to that. Sue asked, how long is it we expect to get for the van to get done as before we can go and pick up Leah? And thank you for asking what's the best way we can help you. So seriously, just having you on a team is the best way. Like having you, like your constant comments, I see them all the time, I appreciate them. same with all of you guys. I just really appreciate you having our back, because without your support, there's no way that we would even be able to consider documenting this kind of journey and this kind of process and making this kind of series. So like, on behalf of everybody that will watch it for free on YouTube, and on behalf of us for keeping us kind of going with this documentary, really, both Leah and I really appreciate it, and we cannot state that enough. So there's nothing more you can do than just like, your constant support is great. How long is it going to take to get done? I really want this done by November, because if it's not done by November, I don't even know what's going to happen. I have to leave this bus over winter, Northern Hemisphere winter, and go get Leah, because I have to go see her by that point. I think it's going to be really important that I don't leave her over there. She's a very loyal, very beautiful girl, and she's really great to me, but I don't want to make that mistake about leaving like such a piece of talent on the other side of the planet, a million miles from me. So I would like to go and see her and express my love for her in person as soon as possible. So yeah, November I'm expecting to go. Colin asked, do we need a tube frame for making over the roof? I think you're talking about a roof rack. I didn't quite understand your question, Colin, and I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but yes, we need a roof rack. I spoke with the fabricator, and I was like, how about a roof rack after you've done this? And he was like, not enthusiastic about helping me on that project. And given the price of this simple bar inside, I'm guessing that if I have a roof rack built, it's going to cost me an absolute fortune. The bus is such a weird shape, and like they said, they can make a flat table thing that like bolts on top, and I'm like, that looks so ugly. So yeah, I need a roof rack for the solar panels, for the awning, and for our futuristic exhaust heated shower, which is clearly going to be a bomb that blows up at some point. Okay, that's all of the build questions. I'm getting on to the route planning. Cue map. This is going to be brief, and I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick, guys. Cue our future. This is much better in my mind than it has actually worked out in reality. Yeah, this map's not helping much, but we'd like to go to all of these places. I'll be honest with you, a few of you have asked about where we're going and what we're doing, and Leah and I haven't really had that conversation in great detail yet. We're going to be doing a lot of the planning for the route over winter, whilst when the build's done, and whilst we're just managing content and blah 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 and filming in Asia. So we'll be doing that. But Scott, you specifically asked about how difficult it's going to be to get passage for non-EU countries. I'm kind of worried about how difficult it will be for EU countries at this point. So just to give you a rough idea, Leah and I are going to have 3 months to do the UK and probably 3 months for Western Europe next year. So starting in March, we're going to come back to the UK. I'm going to start filming the series, and we'll be giving you updates like live through all of that just for you guys. But we're going to try to do Scotland, or try to get quite far up into Scotland, and do Ireland and do the UK and do Jersey and the islands around here, because I personally haven't seen them, and I've seen Jersey because I live here, but I think they're really good, and I think you guys are really going to appreciate getting a kind of close look at these islands, because they're really cool and beautiful, and nobody ever makes content from here because it's just such a remote, weird place. So definitely some content on the UK. Western Europe, the trouble is we'd like to go everywhere. Everyone getting a good clear view of the map here? Yeah, good. We'd like to go everywhere, but we can only, like, we've got a choice between either skimming over the top of everything or making some like actually really good in-depth content from like Western Europe. Is that Western Europe? Finland. That's close. Yep. So I'm thinking like we've got to get between the UK and Northern Africa in about 3 months. Okay, so that doesn't leave a lot of time. Like when you're making videos, they take a long time, and that doesn't give you a lot of time to explore. So we're going to do as much of the Western Europe as possible. We may skim over the top of some of them whilst trying to enjoy them personally, and then I don't know, from a content perspective, maybe we'll do like more detailed, like 2 or 3 detailed videos, one from Germany, one from France. We're just not going to be able to do a lot of detailed stuff. Like we'll be able to do like behind the scenes and sharing stuff with you guys with little updates, but to make a full video, that's probably not going to happen. So we're gonna have to pick our places that we make content quite carefully. Like Andorra, I love you. Luxembourg, you sound great too. Probably gonna drive straight through you. Like, sorry. Belgium, you got really good beer and chocolate and waffles. It would be rude to go straight through you without making a video. So yeah, Western Europe, we're going to have to pick and choose. Like, it's not going to be like it was going through the Pan American, where it would just seem like there was endless time. And yeah, sure, stay for 3 months in this country, stay for 3 months in that country. We've got 3 months to get through Western Europe. And that would be it, but that's not enough. So we're going to go to Northern Africa, to Morocco, Algeria, Egypt. No, it's not Egypt. What's that? Libya. Oh, that sounds scary. We'll be going somewhere around here, okay? To come out the other side, which is Syria. No, Syria doesn't sound like a good idea. Okay, maybe we wouldn't be going that far. Okay, maybe we'll come back to Tunisia and we'll come up. There's a lot of maybes, isn't there? But like roughly, this is pretty much the plan that's happening with you guys right now. So we're going to come out with Tunisia. We're going to come through Sicily and Italy. I think we'll probably go to Malta because Leah's half Maltese, and it would be fun to see her family. And then we're going to go and spend some time the closest place outside of Europe to Europe is Croatia, and maybe Albania. So we'll be going somewhere around there to basically do some editing, stop and work, live there for a few months like we did in Mexico a year ago. And then once we've spent a significant amount of time outside of Europe, we will be going back to Europe. Yes! To film more content in kind of the Eastern Europe, so that we get to see, you know, some of like Czech, Slovenia, you know, those kind of places, Hungary maybe. And then once we say, like after that, unless we have a compelling reason to stick around Europe and head back to Jersey, for example, I think that's going to cause issues with like basically like visa stuff. The visa stuff is the main problem we've got. So it's likely that after the second stint of Europe, we are going to have to GTFO and start the really difficult, really scary part of the, you know, this bit, the bit that goes towards the Himalayas. I'm nervous about it, I've got to be honest with you. And it's so far in the future that I can't think about it too much, but KK1886, it's not your real name, I know it's not. Eve's asking about the route, and Stephen, James is asking about if we're travelling to the Middle East, and what's it like for a UK citizen. A few of you guys have asked about this, like visa planning and what you're doing, and like Scott said, how difficult is it to get passage through the non-EU countries. All you guys are hinting at what you probably already know, that it's going to be a nightmare, and Leah's allowed to go to some countries and I'm not allowed to go to others, and some places I need to have a tour guide, and some places I need to have pre-arranged a visa. And when you pre-arrange a visa, it's usually because you're going there, right? You're not going like down through Western Europe and across Africa and back up, and maybe you're not doing what Kombi Life does and go all over the map and then get there. So the problem is we have to apply for these visas. Like Leah has to apply for it now while she's in Australia. There's a limited amount of validity that is available for once she gets given, if she gets given the visa. So she'll maybe get a visa for Iran, and then she'll get 6 months to use it. Like she has to enter within 6 months or within a year. And so that's not going to work out for us, because, you know, we're not going to be there in 6 months. We're going to be somewhere else before then. And you have to apply for these visas in your home embassy, in your home country, a lot of them. So that is going to cause a huge issue for us on this trip. So option 1 is that we fly back to our home countries, each different ways, apply for our visas for these countries that we need to get through, and then come back and meet the bus that we've stored and hopefully hasn't overextended its like the bus has its own like amount of time it's allowed to be in a country. So that's option 1, and option 2 is just avoid those countries and go around them. But I don't know if you looked at a world map recently, but it's a really long way around some of those countries. I'm talking like really far north, and I like to go north, but like, you know, we might be putting tens of thousands of miles on the bus, which is not good, just to get around some countries. So route planning, we will be having a further conversation on this in the near future, but yeah, route planning is going to be a big part of this trip that hasn't yet really been factored in. Build the bus and then plan the journey in that order. But I think that we're going to be in for some difficult shocks. I don't think that I'm going to be able to make a, you know, please help me on social media, I've been banned from Kazakhstan video, and it's going to be successful. Like when I got banned from the US and I was, you know, allowed to get back in because everybody kicked up enough of a fuss about it that it got noticed and they said, oh, okay, you can finish your journey. I don't think that's going to happen again, and it certainly isn't my plan. I don't want to be relying on that kind of thing. So I'm expecting dramas. I've got to be more prepared this time, even though I was really prepared last time. Anyway, long story short, it's going to be really difficult, and we'll talk about this again more in the future. One last thing I'd like to say. Stephen says, if you come to Malaysia, I recommend the East Coast for the peninsula of Malaysia. Hit me up if you get there. Stephen, I'd love to get there, and all of you guys that have watched this video, I would like to actually meet as many of you as possible on this route that we go through the world. Obviously, I can't meet everybody, but like, I'd rather meet you guys that are helping us make this happen than, you know, other kind of random subscribers and stuff. And it would be really cool to come and shake your hand, give you a hug, and say thanks to everything. And so, if you think that we might be coming past you, or that you wouldn't mind us coming in and we can go for a beer somewhere, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like, please let me know about it, because we've started a list of you guys, which countries you're in, that we're hoping to meet, and you know, we're going to do our very best to like factor that in on this tight, difficult journey anyway. So that's enough from me. I better go because I've got to make sure that video is going to go live in 5 minutes. Thank you so much to all of you for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed hanging out. I really appreciate all your support. I hope that I haven't just been talking to myself for the last 20 minutes. Could have been. Can't really tell about any of this stuff, but it's been fun anyway. Guys, yeah, no, you're still there. I see you're still there. Oh yeah, good. Okay, good. Yeah, so anyway guys, thanks very much, and peace out, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.